right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks. We have the man of the hour, the one and only Matthew Ehret. You can find him over at CanadianPatriot.org, as well as the RisingTideFoundation.net. Check him out on Substack, substack.com/Matthew Ehret, and make sure you get his books. The books are super important. The Clash of the Two Americas, Clash of the Two Americas, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 is out. Make it a stocking stuffer for this holiday season. Make it a recommended reading in your household, The Clash of the Two Americas. And before we begin with Matt, we have a special reporter who is right now on the ground. He is one of Zelensky's. In fact, we are told that he is Zelensky's cocaine supplier. He goes by the name of Slava Kokaina. He is of Latin descent, but somehow he is in Ukraine. Slava Kokaina, how are you, sir?
Everything is totally fine, Guerrilla.
Slava Kokaina, I heard that the Russians are losing. They're running away.
Yes. They're almost out of artillery. Everything is totally fine. I still have internet. I still have my green screen, and everything is good. My bed is still intact over there. You can't see that it's a bed over there in the corner. There's blue.
Slava Kokaina, my question to you, Slava Kokaina, is this: how is President Zelensky doing? We are so astounded by his bravery and his courage in the face of insurmountable odds. He's a real hero to the Western world.
He is on a ship right now near Jamaica. I heard the last settings.
Slava Kokaina, you are insinuating that the great leader, the courageous warlord leader, Volodymyr Zelensky, is now retreating and he's in the Caribbean?
He is indeed, yes.
Slava Kokaina, we want to thank you so much. Folks, that is Slava Kokaina. He is the cocaine supplier for President Volodymyr Zelensky. Thank you, Slava Kokaina. And with that being said, Matthew, to you.
Because Zelensky has proven that Ukraine is more than a place. It is an idea. And it doesn't matter if you are in Ukraine or in Jamaica. He is always where Zelensky goes, it is Ukraine.
It is Ukraine. And Ukraine is everywhere, you know?
Ukraine is everywhere, exactly. That's actually funny. Jens Stoltenberg today, he was giving a crazy speech just a few hours ago. It ended, the head of NATO.
Oh, another brilliant guy.
Saying, we're not going to give the privilege to the Russians, our enemies, to know where the threshold is upon which Article 5, the Collective Security Pact of NATO, will be activated. It's like, I'm pretty sure it is very clear exactly where it's going to be activated. And that's the idea of any member of NATO getting in a war with Russia. Like, it's very clear. But these guys are completely quadrupling down. They're insane. And Stoltenberg was even saying that we're not going to. He had an eminently sane question from, ironically, somebody from the Financial Post. Not exactly the most rational, non-propaganda voice in the world. But this journalist, a British guy, had a very reasonable question, which is, well, is it wise to go along with this nuclear war scenario, war game exercise in the Black Sea next week, as you were planning, with the whole, World War III danger already pretty close? Maybe we should pull back on that war game. And Stoltenberg's response was just out of this world. Like, he's like, that's the last thing we should do, he said. If anything, that will just make nuclear war happen quicker if we don't do a nuclear war game exercise right now. And we'll show Putin that we're actually weak, which would be the opposite of the truth. Although he would then say in the same breath, if Russia has any victory in Ukraine, that would be a defeat for NATO. So, I mean, these guys are just like walking contradictions. If you're saying like NATO would be defeated if this non-NATO member is defeated by Russia, then all of NATO is going to be defeated. What does that mean? The mental gymnastics in it all are wild.
You have to be a low IQ moron to believe anything coming out of the West. You literally have to be somebody who is incredibly poor in understanding history, geography, the geopolitics of the area, or you're just an idiot. There's no in between at this point. Think about who is John Stoltenberg? Who is he? Is he some sort of military tactician? Is he the leader of NATO, the general, whatever, right? The Secretary General of NATO? No, he's a freaking guy with a public relations degree and an economics degree from some unnamed university. He has no experience in warfare. So this idiot has no clue what actual warfare looks like. Because, look, let's be honest here. The West has been propagandized into war. The West's concept of warfare is something that happens far away from their shores that they're completely removed from. It only happens to a bunch of, brownies in some third world backwater where their mud huts are getting blown up. It doesn't happen in a first world country. They're about to get it, Matt. They're about to not, if it's not nuclear war or some sort of a tactical response by the Russians, it's going to be their own population stringing them up, because there's going to be a point where the Germans are like, listen, I can't put enough firewood into my stove, and I can't defecate enough to increase the amount of fuel I need to burn the firewood to keep this whole charade going. I've had enough.
Yeah, and I think you've set the stage pretty well, because we're going to jump in today into some of the energy debacle, into some of the, like, what actually is being set up as a self-sabotage in many ways by these incompetent morons regarding, Germany is about to receive an influx of mass migration.
That's the last thing Germany needs.
They're going to flood into Poland, many of them heading to Germany. And when they get to Poland, when they get to Germany, because they don't have any, as of this point, especially, like, Ukraine already lost 40% of its energy availability since 2014.